All right, the Who Would Win of the Week this week is the Karate Kid versus Zero from Holes. A battle. Now, here's the thing. The Karate Kid, obviously, he's trained by Mr. Miyagi. He knows karate and stuff. But the fact is, Daniel LaRusso is kind of a loser.
Shitty haircut, first and foremost.
Yeah, that's true, but you can't.
That's
you can't
one of things to point out.
You can't blame him for that, though.
Yes, I can.
I don't think so. It's the era. It's like, him moving and things. The kid's got a lot going on in his life, but that doesn't diminish my point, which is that he is pretty much a loser, even though he ends up beating Johnny at the end.
Johnny Horsecock.
Yeah, even though he ends up beating Johnny Horsecock at the end. Daniel LaRusso, he just doesn't. That's a weird. He's a weird protagonist because.
How old is he?
I don't know.
Because there's parts in that movie where I envision him as a child, and there's other parts like in that last fight scene, he looks like a grown man.
Well, that's a metaphor because he's grown up so much right before our very eyes.
Shut up.
In the course of 90 minutes.
Here's the thing about Zero from Holes. I mean, listen, their upbringing both difficult to an extent.
Mm-hmm. Zero, definitely more so if he ends up at that camp, at the Holes camp.
Well, yeah, but the reason he ends up at the Holes camp, he steals. Well, no spoilers on Holes, but he ultimately steals a pair of shoes that land him there. Mm-hmm. Well, that's not what lands him there, right? He gets in trouble for something else because he throws.
Yeah, because he throws the shoes, and that's what gets Stanley ailments.
Yeah. But
up.
Here's the thing about.
Sorry, I think he goes there because his mom just abandoned him and he stole food or something.
But then
something like that.
But then his mom
he's
comes
on his
back
own.
when he's there at the end.
They find his mom because he doesn't know where his mom is. And then with the money that they get from the treasure, they hire a private investigator and they track down Zero's mom. But there is
something. She just is a good person all of a sudden and comes back into his life?
There's an
something
explanation,
like that.
I think, for how they got separated or something.
Ellis Island.
I will. So here's the thing. One, guy digs holes.
Dig it up.
So that guy's learning, wax on, wax off is one thing, but he's in the trenches, all right? Two, when he does decide to escape, he survives for days under a boat with nothing but splooge. First of all, can we talk about the fact that drink in Holes, those peaches, is called splooge?
Yeah, that's funny.
Did we not raise red flags right there? Like, hey, maybe Hollywood is corrupting child actors, they're making them drink splooge on camera?
Matthew, they were just having a freak off, dude. He and Stanley Ellis were under that boat just having a freak off. Is that what it was actually
called, or is that my memory? Look it up.
Sploosh.
Sploosh. That's I don't know. That sounds like splooge. That sounds like
splooge. They were drinking splooge.
And just a couple of kids.
That's like my
drinking
only, that movie.
I don't see it. Maybe my brain doesn't work that way.
Pun intended. There's no holes in that movie. Okay, that movie is perfect from top to bottom, except for the fact that they decide to call that drink splooge.
Yeah,
that just seems weird to me. And it's like peaches. They never talk about what it's canned peaches.
Preserved. But they're like super old preserved, so they're all like gushy and mushy and stuff, and sploogey.
And dude, he stands up to those fucking venomous fuckers.
Those lizards,
the yellow
lizards.
He doesn't care about those lizards that are super poisonous.
Zero's hard. Zero's ice cold.
He does fuck himself up, and Yelnats has to carry him up to God's thumb, but then they find the onions, and they're just...
And that's the way it was always meant to be, though.
Crunching on onions.
Because Zero is the descendant of Madame Zeroni.
Yes.
Who put the gypsy curse on Stanley Ellis. This movie is so good.
Yeah, no, again, and it all adds up. Except for Zero's mom thing, I need to look into that. Why did she abandon the poor child?
Investigation.
But Zero doesn't go down. The kid's a fighter. The kid's a fighter. He runs away. He sticks up to that guy who I fucking hate that guy. Obviously that's the point. I hate the woman that runs the camp. I hate the camp leader guy, the kid's leader guy, who kind of is like a bitch. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Timothy Blake Nelson.
With the weird face.
Or Nelson Blake, yeah. No, it's Blake Nelson.
Is that the guy you're thinking of the same guy, the skinny guy?
Not Mr. Sir. Not Mr. Sir.
Mr. Sir is the guy who gets arrested at the end.
I think they all get arrested.
But
Mr. Sir is the one who's wanted. His name is Leslie or something.
Yeah,
Susan.
That guy.
Yeah,
dude. He makes me so mad. Not for how he acts or anything like that. The way he speaks does piss me off too. Not in what he's saying, just the way he talks in general. but his appearance. It's a strictly appearance thing. Like, he's just not put together. He's got, like, gingery, dying off hair. His shirt's, like, half tucked in. He looks like he doesn't shower. He's always sweaty. I know they're at this camp where it never rains and it's hot. That's the whole point. But, like, he just looks like I hate him.
Well,
He could be.
maybe you should be a little more curious about why he looks that way, man.
Well, so it's funny you say that. I was, and it turns out that he's actually a convicted felon that's been on the run, and he goes to jail. So I feel that way for a reason.
Okay, there we go. But I think if I can sum this whole fight up, it's that Daniel LaRusso, despite learning karate, is still like a punk kind of loser, and Zero is smart despite not being able to read. He's a smart kid. He's wise beyond his years, and he never backs down. He never gives up. He doesn't take any shit. And Daniel LaRusso, despite winning that karate tournament, the kid still seems to lack conviction to me.
No, I see. Here's the thing. I actually think that the Karate Kid comes a long way. Like, he's got the stones. He'll stand in there. I think in the times where he does never back down. Also, I'm pretty sure is just the Karate Kid in modern day. But so I'm actually basing this off of if the Karate Kid was never back down, because that's more fresh in my brain.
Okay, doesn't make any sense, but go ahead.
What's his name? Daniel LaRusso?
Yeah.
I feel like he doesn't, once he's, training, he gets in that zone where he's not running from, like, fights and stuff like that because he's afraid. He does it because that's what he's supposed to do. He's not supposed to fight outside the gym.
Yeah.
You know? Here's what I will say, though. He's got, they take a whack at his knee. He's
They
banged
do
up,
sweep the
right?
leg.
And he gets up, and he still is able to do the crane, right? And he fights through that. Here's what I've always thought, though. Thank God the crane lands, because if the crane doesn't land, he's done.
Yeah.
He gave it everything on that last move. Here's the thing. If, let's say, and Daniel would never do this, but let's say he sweeps the leg and Zero's got a bum knee, right? And Zero fights his way up, and Daniel Russo in this case also has a bad knee. They both have bad knee. They both sweep each other's legs, and like Zero's standing there like hobbling, and Daniel Russo cranes him and connects, and he's like, "Oh, like I did it one." I think Zero would still get up. Guy's a fighter. Like, I think he would get up, one leg, no face, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, he would still fight through. And Daniel Russo used everything he had left on that crane. And I don't think he would have had another. I don't think he has another gear to do it, because at the end of the day, like, I don't think he's willing to die for it. Like, he's gonna win with humility, lose with humility. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he faces an opponent that's better than him, he knows it's gonna happen. That's not the cloth that Zero is cut from. Zero is like, dude, I ended up in a pretty much child prison for stealing food because I needed to eat. Like, I'm out here fighting for my life every day. He's got that dog in him.
Zero is a survivor.
Yes.
Zero's a survivor.
Yeah.
And Daniel LaRusso is a fighter. So you got a fighter versus a survivor. I'm still
Daniel
picking
Russo's
Zero.
Not a fighter. Zero's a fighter.
All right, fair enough.
Daniel Russo's a survivor.
What?
Fighter outlasts survivor.
Okay, man.
In this case, no,
If
I
you
need
say
another
so,
word. I
could
need a
see
third
it.
word.
I guess
No,
it all
I need.
depends.
I'm removing survivor. Fighter.
I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up.
Who
sings that song? Christina Aguilera?
I don't know.
I'm a survivor.
Never heard that part of it.
You never listened to
I'm
my
taking
cover
Zero.
version. I'm taking Zero too. And I like the Karate Kid movies, but Daniel LaRusso just, like, he doesn't have that thing. He just doesn't have that it factor for me.
Does sweep the leg though, and 2 points earned right away for being in like the cutoff karate headband get up in this.
He
fight.
doesn't have the cutoffs though.
I thought in the final fight he had the cutoff.
No, you're thinking of Cobra Kai, man. That's a
I
Cobra
watched
Kai
the movie
uniform.
like Barney Stinson.
Yeah.
Clean sweep for Zero. Vote on that on Instagram on Friday. Who would win of the week? Zero from Holes versus Daniel from the Karate Kid.
The Karate Kid. The Karate Kid.
Yeah, I'm curious. I feel like people I think Zero has the fan vote, but I think people with integrity will probably lean towards the Karate Kid without doing much thinking. Like they'll be like, dude, he's the Karate Kid
Because he's got karate in his name.
Yeah.
Could go either way. I mean, I wouldn't be mad depending on either one, but I really do think Zero like earns the win.
He's a
in this
fighter
fight.
survivor.
Yeah, he's a fighter survivor.
Yeah.
And Daniel LaRusso's a survivor fighter. And
No.
that's the who would win in the week. Oh boy.
Flip it and reverse it.
Put that thing down, flip it and reverse it. Okay, whatever you say.
Zero is a survivor fighter. No. What'd you say? Zero is a fighter survivor?
So, yeah, something like that.
I think Zero is a fighter survivor. Daniel Lemoncello
Yeah.
is a
That's racist.
survivor fighter.
That's Italian racist.